everyone, my name is Willow Rose Moondancer. I make videos here on YouTube about Wicca, and I also have a blog called wiccansaren'twicked.com. Today we are going to be talking about the Fae Realm. So firstly, not all Wiccans believe in the existence of the Fae Realm. This is something that is totally dependent on the person. But for those of you who do, there are essentially three main types of creatures in the Fae Realm. The first being fairies, then there's elementals, and then we have tree spirits. And I have a coffee hot chocolate here, so feel free to join me in a nice morning coffee, or afternoon, or evening, whatever suits your fancy. So when it comes to working with these fae creatures, you can summon them to help you in your rituals. Most often than not, you do not want to summon them into your actual circle, as they are quite known for causing mischief, but rather you want to summon them to usually guard the outside of your circle. An exception to this is if you are quite familiar with a certain creature of the Fae and you work with them very closely, then you might be more willing and able to invite them into your actual circle because you will know how to work with them best. So first we are going to start by talking about fairies. Now, when we talk about fairies, we mean we're talking about more than just one creature. So, creatures that fall under the fairy category are flower fairies, mermaids, merman, referred to as little people as well. We have sprites, we have pixies, elves, those kind of creatures. They can come in many different forms. Their three most traditional forms would be humanesque, as in the little fairies that you may see on TV, and some of them actually, for lack of better words, are quite ugly in the sense of how we humans picture physical attractiveness. They can also change shape to match their environment. And these creatures are easiest to contact during dusk, dawn, noon, and midnight. And the best days for contacting these creatures are during the equinox and the solstices, and the very, very best day is Beltane. So some signs that there is a fairy around could be if you have a candle lit and the flames start dancing for no apparent reason, or maybe you have the sensation of something crawling up and down your arms. They are skillful in healing, metalwork, and all of the arts. And if you ask them to, they can guard your home and make sure nothing goes wrong. But when you do that, you must be prepared for mischief. You might start finding that one of your earrings has gone missing, or your keys have disappeared exactly when you need them, stuff like that. And if you do call upon them into your home, you must remember that they are hard to get rid of if you decide that you do not want to work with them anymore. And lastly, if you would like to attract these creatures to your home, you could do some offerings of milk or sweets. You might want to build a fairy home to leave in your yard or garden. And there are also various fairy chants that you could do to bring them to your home as well. So next we're going to be talking about elementals. There are four main types of elementals, each one obviously associated with one of the particular elements of fire, earth, air, and water. They are typically not used, but they are typically worked with to invite them to guard your circle from negative energies. Some people, I'm not one of these people, but some people think that at birth we are all assigned elementals. Elementals aren't overly compassionate and they don't enjoy thanks the same way that the fairies do. And so if you are trying to thank them, instead of thanking them verbally, a better thing that you could do is leave gifts such as milk or honey, coins, or small shiny objects. So now we're going to dive into the specific elementals and talk about them specifically. So first are sylphs. So they are associated with the air. They are the force of air. They can be a gentle breeze or they can be an out-of-control tornado. They are associated with thought and mental development. And they spur and activate your imagination. And if you're one of those people that believe that we are born with elementals, you may also believe that your sylph can carry messages to other people's sylphs. Next, we have salamanders. So salamanders are associated with fire. They live anywhere where there is fire. So that could be at the core of the earth. It could be a candle, the sun, a match, a spark, anything like that. They help with sexuality and love, and they can help build passion, vitality, enthusiasm, and spirituality. And they're very difficult to control. So these are especially one of the creatures that you do not want to invite within your circle unless you are very familiar with working with them first. The third type of elemental is the undines. These creatures are associated with the water element. They live in water such as oceans, rivers, drops of rain. They help you with purification, healing, creativity, or emotional issues. They typically show themselves in human form. They are also often thought to look like mermaids and mermen. So it's quite possible that in your specific belief system that the mermaids and mermen that we talked about in the as a fairy may not actually be a fairy in your beliefs. They may be the representation of undines instead. I hope that makes sense. And they awaken empathy, imagination, and intuition. So all of these elementals can also be associated with the different suits in a tarot deck. So air would be associated with, or the sylphs, would be associated with the swords. The salamanders would be associated with wands. Undines would be associated with cups. And the creatures that we are going to be talking about now, the gnomes, would be associated with the pentacle. So obviously, lastly is gnomes, who are associated with the earth. They are part of the earth and they maintain the geological structures on our earth. They are associated with sensation and fertility, and they help with growth, nurturing, abundance, fertility, and prosperity. These creatures give rocks and crystals their own unique vibrations and energy. And they are skilled craftspeople. They lend us endurance and persistence. So that is everything we have for the elementals. And we're going to be moving on to our third and last category of Fae Realm creatures, and these are tree spirits. So each tree spirit has their own personality that is dependent on the type of tree that they are a spirit for. So for examples, we have willow trees, willow tree spirit. So if you are working with a willow tree spirit, you might find that they help you with being more bendable or flexible, more forgiving, more adaptable. If you're working with an oak tree spirit, you might find that they help you with strength and wisdom and steadfastness. And then lastly, if you're working with a redwood tree spirit, you might find that they help you with longevity, wisdom, and issues of aging. And there are many, many, many different types of trees, and therefore many, many, many different types of tree spirits, which we obviously cannot fully get into in this video. But that is everything that I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. I am actually making, it's a very slow process, but I am making a book about various creatures in our universe, whether it be star seeds, elementals, the fae, and how you can tell if your soul is a reincarnate of one of these beings. So if you are interested in knowing my progress on that book, please let me know down below. It might encourage me to work on it a little bit more than I have been. But yeah, make sure you check out my blog, wickensartwicked.com. I make videos 2 times a week, once on Wednesday and once on Friday. And make sure you subscribe to me here because I make 2 videos a week, one on Monday and one on Thursday. And until next time, blessed be.